First of all, I would like to state my utter surprise that a semi-confident, civilized xeno-race could possibly exist in this god-forsaken galaxy. In the logistical nightmare that is this empire, it's refreshing to actually meet a xeno-race that I can actually have trade negotiations with. Now, despite my centuries of intellect and being raised by one of the greatest minds of this Imperium, for some godforsaken reason, everybody in this Imperium seems to hate you the most. Despite all the godforsaken evils of this universe, you seem to rally them up the most. What I'm able to gather is that you seem to resemble a long-forgotten 20th century ideology called communism, and you are very terrible at melee combat. For some reason, despite all the war crimes that could be committed, in the mind of the Imperium, being terrible at melee combat seems to be the worst crime imaginable. Now, to begin with the trade negotiations, we would like to discuss the 100 planets that border your empire. We decided that it would be best that you have free reign over those planets. Seems that your propaganda of your big titty women, shamelessly displayed across the planet, has infested their minds and have turned the inhabitants into degenerate weeaboos, which our empire does not want anything to do with. I'm a man who fears chaos, but not as much as I fear that degeneracy. They are backwards planets that are only with the Imperium in name, and you would be doing us a great service if you would take them off our hands, as long as you do not violate the 12th parallel. As for the second terms of our agreement, our empire will trade 3 trillion metric tons of various metals and other resources that your empire requires, as long as you provide us with the necessary farming and medical equipment and the training that would be required to run these machines and other various technologies, which this would help us greatly against the crusade against my traitorous brother. Seriously, our hive worlds are so filthy that Nurgle violently ejaculates whenever he sees one of our hive worlds. The invention of hand sanitizer would do wonders against Nurgle's forces. As for the final part of our agreement, which will be met with immediate exterminatus if failed to reply, is my personal demands. I require 3 tons of drawn hentai of the Eldarian woman Euthrain and every fetish imaginable, and I would be expecting a new batch every year. Do not worry, I will have the proper facilities to house these. And finally, I require 1 adult female from every species amongst your vast empire, preferably of the big MILF titty variety, if possible. I require that these women also look like Euthrain, if possible, but if you do not have any Eldarian women in your empire, just stick some elf ears on them. That will work as well. This includes our trade arrangements. I, the Imperial Regent, Roboute Guilliman, give my official stamps on these documents of trade negotiations C-15 of the Imperium of Man.